Cybertron episode 419. Oh, wait, we're down. Okay, we're back up. This is Radio Free Cybertron 419. I'm your host, Brian Kilby. With me, we have Headmaster Don Diecast, Chris, John, and Rob. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Oh,
wait, we're down.
It's up and down.
We're down.
It's up and down.
Yeah, sporadic is the best word.
I've had a few problems, but they're all everyone else's fault, so I'm good.
Darn it, Skype. Darn it, Skype. It's not our fault. It's Skype. Okay, so, hey.
That's actually believable, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's true.
Just think if we were using Uvu. Remember Uvu?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, yeah. Actually, Skype is rolling out. I thought they were rolling out a professional version for podcasters and stuff, but apparently, I think they're just integrating with Link, which is Microsoft's corporate chat client.
I'm sorry, professional Skype just is hilarious to me for some reason.
Yes.
I like that the update they rolled out for Macs in the last couple days also basically broke how it works.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so let's see here. On the show this week, we have stuff, and I hope it doesn't go down. But if it does, it'll be right back up, and it's not our fault.
Or we may be home, and we may have to wait till tomorrow.
Okay, so if you're listening to this in like 2019 or something, I'm talking about all of the...
or even like 6 months from now.
6 months. The ups and downs of the BotCon registration. It is now 3 weeks until the start of BotCon. We will be in Chicago. Most of us will be in Chicago 3 weeks from today. And registration went up for a few minutes yesterday. And it's been going up, and it's been going down. And it's just been kind of a nightmare. But
we'll talk more about that later.
We're going to talk about that later on. Before that, I guess this is when we talk about the stuff that's going on the show, the other shows this week. We had an RFC minicast, and John and XV talk about some of the major news that hit immediately after the show posted last week, or actually immediately after we finished recording, which always happens.
Darn.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, that was a big one last week.
Yeah, some big news. RFC Extra was an original episode of RFC Extra recorded just for you guys. We talked about that news as well as BotCon being awesome with Rob Springer about TFCon registration, Combiner Wars, and stuff like that. And Fanboy vs. Transformers talks about how awesome Thunderclash is. So, More Than Meets the Eye number 41. So, guys, did anybody get anything cool? Chris? You do the notes, and you put yourself as first.
That's because I don't know what anybody else got.
Wow.
I got that too.
I won't have mine until later this weekend.
So my question for Chris, because I'm sure he played with it a little bit, what do you think of that backpack?
I can live with it.
It's a lot going on back there.
Plus, sometimes it's helpful to have, a tripod leg.
Yeah, for
sure. Extra support.
Well, it always helps when Chris plays with it too.
By the way, you're talking about a hotspot.
Unless the Kickstarter doesn't quite make it.
Yeah.
But it looks very good. And the one thing I found is you have to make it shorter out of the box because the knees aren't locked in.
It's mistransformed out of the box. Likewise with the backpack too, where they got Defensor's face just sticking up, staring out into the world.
Is it the greatest toy ever?
It's certainly up there. No, but the knees, they have the knees at like full extension in packaging, and they're actually made a little bit like the aerial bot legs, where they have to bend a couple times, and they will actually start to lock in. And the early complaints of the shins pulling away from the knees when you try to bend the legs, after you get locked together, that is not an issue at all. It's super solid.
Right.
Like, that was the one major flaw that was being tossed around with this, and it's a non-issue. I mean, this is a really, really great toy. It's the best thing Combiner Wars has produced so far.
Really?
Is it better than Cloud Rodimus?
No.
Well, like, in terms of, like, the mold, yes. Deco? No. And also, I think GDO Hotspot has a nicer blue. There's a slight. This is a little bit more saturated, and I think it looks nicer. But you know, the Combiner Wars Hotspot is a really, really good representation of Hotspot overall.
Well, I mentioned this when we were talking about last week or so. Blue is a very hard color to get right on some of these characters because if it's the wrong shade of blue, it just throws everything off. It seems to me blue is the hardest color to get right on a character.
And I don't think this is a case of getting it right or wrong. I think just when they designed the deco for this, this is the interpretation they chose to have, this little bit more muted blue. And when the GDO deco sheet was done, they went for something a little bit more vibrant. It's just, you know, it's differences in interpretation. I don't think one's objectively correct over the other. I just happen to prefer the brighter color. I also have Cyclonus, and Cyclonus is fine overall. I like some of what was done in retooling it, like the new wings actually cover some of the parts that couldn't be replaced in the retooling to make them look different in vehicle mode, which I thought was a clever compromise. And, you know, Silverbolt was a pretty good Voyager. Cyclonus is no worse off than that. It's no better either, though.
Neat. I want it. I can't wait to get it.
And that seems to be where all the color saturation went too, because that purple is so like rich and deep and not Cyclonus at all.
But it's nice in a vacuum.
Yeah.
It is. It's a nice color on its own. I like it as a shade of purple. It's just not a Cyclonus purple.
Yeah, I wish it came with Nightstick.
Yeah, that'd be nice too, or like had Viper packed in with it.
That'd be pretty sweet. I got Fixit. Yeah.
One Step or Legion?
The One Step.
Okay.
Is the Legion out?
It is, yeah.
It's starting to.
Yeah, I got the One Step. I like the Happy Meal toy better. I'm not joking. I like it, but I don't dislike it.
Some people said about Underbite too.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so that's stuff.
So diecast, nothing third party in your pile this week? You almost always have something new.
Yeah, no. I put up the Apollyon review, so that's there. But that's not really new. I had that for like a week. I just had a problem getting that shot.
Yeah.
I almost said that, and I was like, I gotta dial that down.
No, but it's fine when I do it.
Yeah, for sure. Different standards.
Yeah.
Double standards.
So Apollyon is the greatest thing ever, right?
In robot mode.
Good.
In robot mode, if you don't touch it.
In robot mode, if it's in one piece, if it breaks
don't look
in
at
half,
it for extended amounts of time.
Yeah, I wanted it too. That's the sad part. Is I was really close.
Sort of in the same vein as that Devastator we saw at TFCon last year.
Or that gigantic Scorponok I've got.
Oh,
I don't know who you are anymore.
The thing with
I said third
that
parties. Third parties, not Hasbro.
The thing with the Devastator is, like, you know, it's so rooted in the cartoon model that it doesn't look like it could transform anymore. So it kind of takes it out of that.
But the cartoon models can't transform? What?
And, you know, Devastator's cartoon model always looked like garbage anyway.
Yeah.
Like half the cast.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Devastator was especially bad.
Oh, yeah. I'm not arguing that at all. Hey, I got a third-party figure myself.
Oh, wow.
I got the Solus Prime from Mastermind Creations. They're Salvia Promenon. What a bunch of word salad that is. But it's really good. I really like her.
Well, complain to them about their Latin fetish.
I'm afraid what the response will be. Probably like something unintelligible or just disturbing, I guess. But I really like her. I've got the RC version of this, or the not RC version of this. This is actually way more relevant to me since it's a newish, quote-unquote, new character, new head mold. Comes with the forge. It's even got some extra parts for their Paradron medic, who was missing shoulders, like shoulder pads, basically, but they were charging the same retail price as RC with less toy in the box. So they got enough hate mail that they threw in those missing pieces into this one.
Did they just have to buy the next toy?
It was the Paradron one was always supposed to have those shoulder pieces, but the factory misunderstood the intention.
Yes. Factories. Anyway, I really enjoy it. It's cool. It's certainly the prettiest, I think I would say, of the like 4 or 5 they've done in this mold.
Is it nicer than the that TFCon exclusive one that looks vaguely like Armada Blur?
I like this one just because the head sculpt's really interesting. The forge is a neat accessory, which breaks into 2 pieces and stores completely into her vehicle mode, which is kind of neat.
Nice.
And she's got these kind of weird but nice translucent like blue plastic bits and highlights, her shoulder pads and her chest, and there's some stuff on her knees that are like this it kind of looks like glow in the dark plastic, but it doesn't glow in the dark, and it's more blue than green. It's neat. It's kind of eerie, and I approve.
Very nice. Okay, let's go ahead and jump to This Week in History. Just real quick, in 2009, BotCon 2009 begins. I didn't go to BotCon 2009, and I don't remember anything about it specifically. What was the highlight from that show?
Could they register for it, or was that at the fax day?
That was actually still fax in time.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the year of the Wings of Honor sets.
Oh, that's why I don't remember it. Okay.
Right.
And 2005, 10 years ago this week, the TFWiki.net community is founded on WikiCities by a dude or dudette named Nova81426.
Who's probably not involved anymore, but you know.
Yeah, that's well, I don't think of the wiki as being 10 years old, but the wiki has been around for a while, so pretty neat. The wiki is one of the most useful things in the Transformers fandom.
Yeah, and kudos to everybody behind the scenes that keeps that thing, updated and relevant.
Yeah. Tell you guys you rock. Okay, I'm gonna. Whoa, what the? Not mute. If you do that again, mute.
I didn't do anything.
You didn't?
No.
What was that? It sounded like somebody took like a paper bag and crumpled it up and like blew snot into it. What was that? What was that? Okay, yeah, 3, 2-ish, 1-ish. Let's go ahead and skip all the BotCon news because we're going to talk about that later on. Oh, we're down. I've done that already. We're back up. So, guess what? So, for people who are listening to the podcast, Chris is. Every time I do that, Chris holds up a sign that says, "Damn it, Kilby."
I should have done this years ago, to be honest.
It's pretty great.
It's like some weird surreal version of the match game.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly right, Don. So that would make him. Who would that make? That would make him.
Charles Nelson
Riley. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was trying to remember his name too.
He's the coolest one on the show.
Let's see. John DeLuna can be Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson's amazing.
Sure, I'll take it.
And I can't remember the name of basically anybody else that appeared on the show. That's a dated reference.
Rob Clay can be Paul Lynn because he's funny like
We're
Paul.
losing all the kids.
Okay.
The kids don't like Charles Nelson Riley.
You're losing everyone in their 30s.
We're losing everybody under 50. But damn, what a great show! Go back and watch that on a Game Show Network. It's great. Greatest game show ever.
Up next on RFC 78.
God, at BotCon we need to do a game show. Or not. Okay, so Combiner Wars Devastator out of the box photo. Special edition poster. So there's a poster of the 2015 special edition poster of Devastator. So that's kind of crazy. It's the SDCC version. So if you want to see it, look at the poster, and there he is.
Wait, I'd like to mention that Don said he was... What did you say if this happened? Because you told me when I guessed that if this was just going to be a little bit different color green and some extra paint apps, you were going to kill me, I think. So that's what this ended up being.
So yeah, because I was one. I mean, even though it would be harder to get, we all figured it'd be a G2 version because it's the best way to introduce the G2 colors. And the upside is, we don't have to fight for it to be a G2. The downside is, now when are we going to get it?
The only thing I got wrong on this was the vac metal. I left that out because honestly, I didn't see that. But
That's I think someone said it best. The chest is not bad because it draws you to the center of the robot, but Mixmaster's drum just really just.
I mean, it seems like, someone started making the purple parts chrome, and it's just like, hey, that thing's purple too.
I'm just glad at least on this, it looks like they actually posed it right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Even the arms look a lot better than like the forearms and the hands look a lot better than what we are used to seeing on this.
sorry. I think if there was some alternating purple to counter Mixmaster's drum, it would balance out a lot better visually.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Like, the way it is, that purple on the one leg is overpowering, and on the normal deco, it's not so... The contrast is not so high.
Maybe if they had chromed the gun.
That could... Actually, they have, but it just...
Yeah.
It just doesn't quite balance out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, maybe on the finished product where the gun and everything else are the same shade of purple, because I think that's been chromed, but at least that's how it looks to me. But
yeah,
it's a very flat chrome if it is.
Yeah, I think the other thing they chromed is the other leg, his waist piece is look like it's purple chromed also.
So for Transformers fans that joined us in 2009, what about his balls?
They're chromed as well. They did a really nice job with the dipping and the
hanging.
Yeah.
No.
Just don't let them sway too much, or that'll start to chip.
And spark.
Yeah, and well, now actually, the thing is with the San Diego version, the bonus is a John Tortino figure with a little rail gun.
Yeah.
I would be so into that, Don. You have no idea.
Actually, yeah.
That would be that. Don, no joke. That would be a selling point.
Has an Optimus Prime yet come with a generic face to take?
Like, make it off a G.I. Joe or Marvel Universe. There's a little Coulson Marvel Universe figure, isn't there? That was an exclusive.
Yeah, it was in a 3-pack.
Yeah,
I thought it was just Legends scale. I thought there was.
Is that the full-size Legends?
Yeah, I thought there was a Universe version too, but I wasn't. But I was mistaken.
Damn. Because, that'd be perfect. Just use that body and put a John Turturro head on it. And, you're there. I mean, you've got your Simmons.
Well, there's still the body they used for Comic-Con Destro.
I don't see Pimp Daddy Destro working that well.
No, not that one. The movie one.
Oh, okay.
Oh. The one that actually had the Eccleston head.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Doctor number 7. No, Doctor number
9.
9.
Still, one shiny leg. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of the point here. They needed to put a chrome purple element on the scrapper leg to balance that, and it would not be so jarring.
Well, now, being someone who's not big on the technical side of labels and stickers and chrome, I don't usually worry about that. Could repo labels cover that chrome?
No.
With a sticker set?
God, why would you want
That
to?
would be terrible.
Well,
Technologically, it's possible to sticker around a round surface would not turn out well by any means, but it is possible to do.
It'd be better
you would need at least 3 separate pieces to do that as smoothly as possible, and most people would not be able to apply it correctly.
And then it just chip off.
Because I remember when Mad Blender had some labels done to make it a little more G1 accurate, and it was really difficult to get the Hercules Mad Blender figure, his drum stickered properly. So people were saying you have to do it this way, or the stickers would just pull right off because of the surfaces.
Yeah.
You could probably do the same thing people were doing with Jetfire's weapons and just, take the chrome. Yeah,
if you're buying this, you're not going to do that.
No, I like the chrome. I'll keep it this way. I hope I can fight the Hasbro Toy Shop craziness to get this thing.
Nemesis Prime.
I could have got. You had problems getting Nemesis Prime. I had no problems getting that.
Most people had problems getting that first Nemesis Prime.
Yeah,
the alternator.
Yeah. But while we're on this, I also don't like the fact that we're mixing Vac Metal Purple and Ordinary Purple. That bugs me actually more than Shiny Leg.
Shiny leg.
Shiny gate.
Okay,
Oh,
so-
shiny leg.
No gates.
Moving along and talking about
Anyway, the only other selling point to this besides the chrome is that it has a different face sculpt.
Yeah.
how different is it? 'Cause, like,
It has separate eyes instead of a visor, and I think it looks better.
I'm fine with the visor, but I'm not going to end up with this either way, so it doesn't matter.
so moving along to something else other people have problems with. He's really big, and he's about nearly twice as tall as the other combiners.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So
I don't
big.
care.
What scale? I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people don't like that.
Everyone wants everything big, so there it is.
John lives in Texas.
You
so
can have
everything's
your
bigger in
big
Texas.
salad.
Yeah. There's the tie-in. Right there.
Yeah.
So I got to have it. He needs to come with a tiny cowboy hat.
He does. I've got a glow-in-the-dark cowboy hat that he can wear if need be.
If need be.
Yeah.
If the day calls for a cowboy hat on Devastator,
Yeah.
I got you covered.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. I like the size of it. I'm fine with having one Devastator that's way bigger than everybody else. That doesn't bother me so much. But I can see why somebody would be turned off by that.
That's me.
You are?
Yeah, I'm going to get him out of like obligation, I guess. But there's lots of reasons I don't like him. That's one of those. He's just too big. He's big for the sake of being big.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, there is
agree with that.
a third party that would probably scale pretty well with the Combiner Wars, and that's the Make Toys one. Devastator is I should do a size comparison with that, honestly, because it's probably right around the size that Defensor is. So maybe I'll do that in the Defensor review.
Yeah, Hercules scales well too. He's like maybe an inch and a half taller than Minosaur.
I can accept Devastator being a little bit bigger because it's 6 dudes
Yeah.
and not 5, and like I can accept Hasbro's reasoning in the way this Devastator is designed, since the construction vehicles they tried to scale them as best they could to the Stunticon car modes, so there'd be a little bit of internal consistency. You know, I'm not exactly about a Devastator that's almost twice as tall as all the other combiners, even though there is some logic behind it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I understand it. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of things I don't like so much, no, I'm kidding. It's not that bad. Combiner Hunters RC. She is black. I actually think it looks kind of nice.
Whoa,
It does look nice,
It
actually.
does.
Yes.
it
The
does.
What are
Chromia, on the other
Combiner
hand-
Hunters?
Yeah, and here's a shock. I'll probably buy it.
Oh. You have startled us all, Don.
Don's awesome. I love Don.
But,
Don,
but
I
no,
will-
what this... Sorry. But what this is, Diecast, is about... I guess it was about a month ago, IDW solicited a comic called Combiner Hunters that follows up on Combiner Wars. And it featured some interestingly consistent recolors of existing characters / figures with toy-derived weapons, also consistent across various covers. So we were pretty sure that it was going to be something. And given the timing of the comic, that being July, we were thinking an SDCC box set, and the timing of these production samples kind of backs that up.
Oh, okay. So we're thinking these are going to be SDCC. Okay.
Yeah, but from the timing and again the amount, and also the amount of paint on them, I think that is a pretty good guess.
The Chromia repaint is pretty. That is a pretty figure.
They're both pretty nice.
Then
There's also,
again,
Hmm?
I might not be buying this one. It was the SDCC.
Fight for your woman, Don. Fight for her. Come on.
There should also be a Windblade that goes with this, going by the cover of the Combiner Hunters comic.
And at the rate these have been coming, we'll see that tomorrow morning.
yeah.
You know, I'm just wondering, could they re-engineer RC and have a Combiner Wars port on her? And
No, Don.
No, the idea is that this is the team that takes down the Combiners. That's the deal.
Don, could they?
There
Yes.
will be no engineering.
But it would be like
Actually, no, they couldn't. Like, it's not even a theoretical.
There's no
no
mass
way.
there to do. Yeah,
it
there's no
wouldn't
mass
be
there.
integrated with the toy, but it'd be kind of like a smaller version of the GoBot power suit backpack thing.
Yeah, I mean, all they would end up doing is
And
making
clamp it onto
It-
it.
a leg for a combiner that doesn't do anything, but you
Yes.
can the RC onto it and basically make a cartoon accurate Menasor.
Well, reason I say that is if we are getting Victorion and RC's supposed to be part of it.
No, Don.
No, she's not.
No,
She's not.
No.
RC Victorion is going to be like what?
New characters.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. I'm getting my IDW stuff mixed up. Then I apologize.
Yeah, it's not IDW yet.
July.
Yeah. Hey, so speaking of stuff that pops up after the show ends, last week we got confirmation and photos of Karatomi's Combiner Wars or Unite Warriors Groove, which is the deluxe-sized version of the Protectobot. And now we have better photos of said deluxe.
We have better photos than the photos we didn't have when we recorded last week.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why we did like 2 shows in the interim.
Well, I mean, we did that one extra, and then me and John did an actually good show about them.
Screw
So,
you.
I mean, you know.
I didn't say that.
Well, no, that's what I'm here for, to say that. It's okay when I say
It
it.
looks very nice.
It does.
Yep. The only thing I was hoping when Takara finally announced their Defensor, whatever version they were doing, is that it would have been in Guard City colors. And
Later.
Yeah. Hold it
Nick-
free, hobby.
And their initial
Yeah.
release is going to be the colors that most people want.
yeah.
The thing is, though, this Defensor is a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive, so, like, it's a mail-away thing to begin with, or mail order. You know, it's not even coming out in actual stores in Japan. That's the weird part.
Yeah, which seems a weird choice for the one mold that they do not have some kind of, overseas option lined up as far as we know to get some of their money back.
Right.
Oh, there's definitely going to be something coming out. There's no way they would make a brand new mold just for that.
Diecast, have you
It's
forgotten
Takara.
Breakdown?
Yeah, Arms Micron Breakdown says hi.
Breakdown was available in all the stores overseas, though.
Yes, in 3 variations. Now, like, I am not at all ruling out that, like, when Technobots come up, this is going to be the basis for Afterburner, and, they may even find another way to utilize this besides that. But right now, the only outlet for it that we know of is through an online store, and they're being produced to match pre-order numbers.
Right, that's why I'm just saying it doesn't make sense right
No,
now.
it doesn't.
You're
It
right.
doesn't make sense.
You're
That's the whole
exactly
point.
right. It's not supposed to. It's like quantum physics. If you think you understand it, you don't.
Which is why me, and JD sat in his living room at 3 a.m. talking about it.
Yes, it was
In
that
2012.
That was great. That was great. Okay, so
I need to re-listen to the Superhero Time Godzilla episode sometime.
Why?
God, so much news. Okay, so official photos and release date for Takara Tomy Legends Armada Megatron and Black Convoy, aka the toy I spent like $75 for through the Collectors Club.
Uh-huh.
But importantly here, have a look at that Armada Megatron. What do you think of that compared to the Hasbro one?
It has more paint apps. A lot more. I mean, so that's
Looks
nice.
pretty sweet.
The head looks way better. Is that a remold?
No, it's just painted better.
God, that looks way better. Let's.
Oh wow, I hadn't seen this newer picture of Scourge. That looks really nice.
I think
Both
I'm
of these
going
look
for that
nice.
Megatron.
Get on that now because I think these are Tokyo Toy Show exclusives.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
hard. It's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, I will say it looks better, but I think I'd rather wait until we get a G2 version of him. If I'm going to have the mold twice.
But it's just gonna be the same as the first Megatron. Okay.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, it's true. This looks better than the Collectors Club version.
Oh,
Yeah.
that Scourge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks way better.
It's close, but it has more red accents in it instead of silver.
They have either lit this exceptionally well, or they have found a grade of red plastic that catches the light a lot better than anything else I've seen on this
That's
mold.
amazing. Yeah.
Maybe both.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly both. I mean, I have seen red plastic that can do this.
I'm just wondering how that would look if somehow Make Toys makes a matching tanker armor for this.
Don't they have a tanker armor in that color scheme already?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm saying if they make it to try to match these, if these colors are accurate to the toy, and not a byproduct of the photo shoot, then if they could make their new trailer be more accurate to this, the thing would be absolutely radiant.
I don't
I
like.
can see that.
I question whether they would bother for, a 1 or 2 day toy show exclusive. That's a minor variation of a thing they did already, which was already in itself a minor subset of another thing they were doing based on a limited run item. You're whittling it down more and more narrow, and your return gets less and less.
Oh, I agree.
It's like inbreeding, Don.
Hey, so where can I pre-order these? Any idea? Are they available?
Try Robot Kingdom.
Okay.
If I had a friend who wanted to pre-order these, where would he go?
Yeah.
Try. The only thing I've heard so far is Robot Kingdom, and I have not looked into it personally.
Okay.
So.
Interesting.
Oh, also jumping back one, we should point out the Unite Warriors Defensor set is available for pre-order through the usual major online retailers here for about $160, which, given the normal Unite Warriors set is about $110 on import, and this is an exclusive, not actually a bad price.
Yeah.
So if you want one, get on that now. I have.
Those gift sets so far have been pretty reasonable.
Yeah, very actually.
Yeah, I'm
the
just
exchange
thinking
rate.
I already have all of Defensor, so I'm kind of.
But you don't have a groove. Well,
I
not a
know.
deluxe groove. I mean,
Well,
you
I'm
probably have
hoping, and
I'm hoping too, so I don't have to spend 160 on the set. But in case it comes to that, I'm set up for it.
Hope is
Yeah.
not a strategy. Okay.
Hope is not a strategy, and that's why I have a plan B.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else? Unite Warriors Superion box set, first package images. I did not pre-order it. Actually, I did pre-order it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I like the box. I like it.
Pretty art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the. I wonder if they've got. I wonder who's doing the artwork for it. But I just do not like the bottom two jets turned that way. It just does not look right. I was hoping they would homage the G1 box just a tiny bit more, but it's so minor, I know. But he looks wrong like that.
Yeah. I'm fine either way, honestly.
I mean, I like what they've done with this. I can understand a general perception of I wish it was more like a recreation of a G1 box set, but
Hey,
But imagine how awesome that will look in G2 colors.
yes. Hey, John. How will this look in that White Boys picture that you posted?
It'll make a fine amendment
Yeah.
to it.
And just to explain what that is, it's was it most recent toys? How
Yeah, it was
they're
like
all
every
white?
toy I've gotten this year, seemingly, or at least that I can remember. Like 9, like the last 9 toys are like 90% white.
Yeah, very white.
So white.
Yeah. Okay. So Combiner Wars Ultra Prime, question mark to be released in Unite Warriors. Looks that way. It's what this photo implies.
Mm-hmm. Or at least something using that set of molds.
Yeah.
That's gonna be wacky.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could be like an alternate version of the Sonicons with Black Convoy or something.
But we're getting Black Convoy from eHobby. They're not going to do that again.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep up, Brian.
I was thinking, for some reason I kept thinking that Black Convoy is using a Beast Hunter's mold, but it's not.
Hey, I've got breaking news.
What?
The Robot Kingdom lead was a good one. They do have that Armada. But I don't know if they have the Scourge. I didn't look for him, but they do have that Armada Megatron.
Oh, I did not look for Megatron. I looked for Scourge or Black Convoy.
Yeah, whatevs.
Yeah,
So if you two team up, I mean, we'll be onto something here.
Yes, we can each ship to each other the one that we don't want. How's that gonna work?
Yeah, here he is. Oh, yeah, okay. $70? Not bad.
That's not bad.
Okay.
You'll probably
$30
you'll probably-
shipping.
I was gonna say you'll be in at another 30 for the shipping, but still,
Where does Robot Kingdom hail from?
Price of doing
Hong
business.
Kong,
Yeah.
Hong Kong, or mainland China.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, it will be nice to finally get a masquerade Minosaur. I know some of the cars aren't matching up precisely according to the episode, but it will be nice to finally get one.
I have to say,
Well, and let me put it to you this way, Don. The tweet that went out with this image specifically said that this set is not representative of anything that was in the G1 cartoon. So it probably
I did not
still
see
is not.
so before we well,
Rob, say something. You're echoey.
Oh, am I?
And we're back.
yes,
Good.
No, I thought someone had bleeped Chris for language or something.
I don't have that ability. I wish I
What
did.
did I even say?
I know that. No, that's just it. I don't. You didn't say anything. I'm just saying that's what it sounded like was you were being bleeped for language.
So, you were saying, Chris, that basically Don said he wanted the G1 accurate masquerade Minosaur, and this is supposedly not an exact.
This is not representative of anything in the G1 cartoon, according to the tweet that went out with this image.
Oh well, I'll just.
So it's probably just going to be the same assortment of characters we're getting as Wave 4.
So the thing that weirds me out about having masquerade Minosaur Autobots is having a deluxe Mirage that isn't the deluxe Mirage from the Classics line.
Mhm.
Because to me, that's now like the de facto Mirage.
Mhm.
And even though that came out nearly 10 years ago, it doesn't seem like we need a new one. But it came out nearly 10 years ago.
Right, but it's the thing out of the original Classics line that's held up the best, and we've talked about this on multiple occasions too.
Still love it.
You know, that and that Bumblebee are the things that have really held out the most in terms of long-term viability. Diecast, what are you doing?
I'm transforming hotspot.
Ah.
Can you
Have
hear
fun.
Actually, yes.
that? Oh, sorry.
It's XV. He can like sense a toy being transformed.
It's XV sense.
Yeah, it tingles.
Okay.
You know
Or
that.
burns.
It burns. Yeah. Hey, okay, so moving along. God, we're having more issues this week. That may be why there's an update to Skype that I need to download.
If
No, that's
this
just gonna make
doesn't
it-
work, we're gonna quit for the day, and we'll try tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll send
Yeah.
out
Authorized net's back up. Skip it.
Okay, moving along. God, there's so much news this week. We have photos of Masterpiece Road Rage in vehicle mode last week?
I don't think.
No.
From where it was in
No,
the
I don't
stack of
think so.
stuff, I think it was after the show
Okay.
stopped.
She's
Yeah.
pretty. I want it. It's pre-ordered. I'm gonna get this.
Yeah.
Bam.
I like it.
Because I remember we were discussing about will the flame decal be there already on it? Will it be a sticker that we could apply like on the earlier track on a different tracks? So we talked about what her vehicle mode may look like, but the pics came afterwards.
Yeah, this looks great. I am buying this. End
Yeah,
of
same here.
story.
I like it.
I have my yes, and it's amazing how they changed just enough on it to make it look like make it look that different. But you know what I mean. They didn't change a whole lot, but what they changed really made it look different.
Wow,
Yeah.
Don's connection quality went way down when he got kicked off.
Yeah, poor Don.
Okay.
He was
Sorry.
doing perfectly before that.
Yeah, darn it, internet. It's okay, Don. We'll make it.
Okay.
So first look at the Platinum Series reissue Trypticon in box. So news of this actually broke at the Australian Toy Fair when somebody from the Ozformers message board actually went and Hasbro told them that we were getting a Platinum Series reissue Trypticon, but of course we didn't have any photos or any corroboration from any other sources. So I think it was more than a rumor, but it was like we'll wait and see what actually happens. I think it was probably something more along the lines of a toy showing up maybe in the inventory system of Walmart like a year in advance. But yeah, so photos showed up over the weekend, and I was really surprised to see it. And we expect it to be about $150.
Between 150 and 200, it's kind of
200.
varying on source.
Yeah. And from what I've heard, Brian, apparently the walking mechanism is still intact.
Good.
It is, and they the electronics have not even been updated, and it still needs 2 C-cell batteries and a AA.
Oh wow.
Well,
Good luck finding those.
What do you mean?
I mean, at least it's not D-cell batteries.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the C-cell batteries are not that uncommon, and AA's are still, ubiquitous.
AA's are everywhere, but C's are harder and harder to find.
Here's the
Besides,
question:
if you
is
rent on- if you-
Trypticon
if you
worth
rent on-
$200?
Probably if you don't.
I
own
mean,
it.
you're edging on it at that point, but like a vintage one that works and has all of its stuff will still run you more than $200, and this is brand new.
Mine is incomplete. It's the one that I had from a kid, and I've lost most of the parts. So
Basically, you have a gray Gigastorm.
no, because he doesn't have the awesome horn.
Oh well, yeah.
I had Gigastorm, but I sold it because
Of course you did.
it was boring. It's a boring
Yeah.
toy.
Well, of course,
Go ahead, Don.
I was saying, of course, Chris, if this thing ran on 2 AA batteries, it'd be like Serpentera. You'd be changing your batteries all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
So I keep asking for an updated Trypticon. I think with this one, I'm probably just gonna wait to see if it ever goes on sale, like I could have done with Fort Max.
If this drops to like 125 or less, don't wait,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I mean, at that point you've tipped the balance on value for a G1 Trypticon.
Pretty much.
But I guess it's pretty much sounds the death knell, at least in the foreseeable future, for a Titan class Trypticon, like everybody,
Probably.
Well,
everybody
Don,
was wanting.
well, Don Devastator did that because, like, the pattern that Devastator establishes is a Titan class figure every other year, or every second year, and Devastator's it for a little while, so it would not have been anytime soon. And in this time
Anyway, yes.
scale, this is not. The Platinum's not precluding a new one from happening 2 years down the road.
Yeah. See, I never got Titan Metroplex. I picked up Utopia instead. So I was never one of the ones that needed a new Trypticon, but I know a lot of people was really wanting a new Titan class Trypticon
I'll
to go
be
with
honest with
Metroplex.
you. I don't see any way that they could do a new Trypticon that wouldn't be kind of terrible.
I would tend to agree. I mean,
Yeah, I just don't see.
the only thing that makes G1 Trypticon interesting is that it's basically a Zoid.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, we're lucky to have this.
And actually, Don, I don't think these Platinum Series releases have any influence outside of themselves anyway, because there's that Insecticons 3-pack, and, we had Shrapnel last fall and
That's true.
Bombshell a couple months ago, so I mean the stuff it's different markets, and
Yeah.
these Platinums are exclusives functionally anyway, so
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's see here. What else do we have? Anything worth talking about? New Transformers movie. New writers. Takes place on Cybertron, and Michael Bay's directing it.
Unknown.
Oh.
probably.
The only thing we know are the writers who have not done anything. I mean, I looked them up on IMDb. There's like one short film one of them has done. The rest they have like executive producer credits on a bunch of crap that haven't come out yet. So confidence inspiring.
But I bet they didn't cost very much.
Well,
Probably not.
Well, Rob, not just sort of taking a devil's advocate. They could be someone that had a lot of good ideas and wasn't bound by the franchise up to that point. So maybe what they submitted was different enough from what had come before that they were taking a chance on.
Or
Possibly.
they didn't cost very much
Or there's somebody's buddy who needs a job.
and don't cost very much.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Interesting. Okay, so I don't care about that. So moving along, new Kabaya kit series to feature the Seacons. I like this.
This may cost more than the reissue Seacons that were on clearance at Big Bad Toy
Probably
Store.
so.
Yeah.
Probably so.
But for a Kabaya gum kit, It looks pretty damn
It
good.
looks great. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many? So it's going to be all 6 actually. It looks
All
like.
6, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Now, for people that are watching that aren't familiar with Kabaya, all the color you see on there from the stickers are stickers. So
All the
got,
color you see on there from the stickers are stickers. That's that's a fascinating insight.
All the colors you see.
Oh,
Yeah,
actual
I
colors.
I could have phrased that better.
are
I'm sorry.
stickers.
But basically, what you see that is not purple or blue or gray. That's some other color. Those are all stickers, and you will have to apply all of them.
Yeah.
See what it is. It's a little more than meets the eye.
I mean, these are model kits, and anybody who understands model kits knows what goes along with them. They're not Gundams.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're easy model kits, but I do have a case of about 20 of them that I haven't assembled.
Well, see, here's the thing. These are Master Force Seacons, so you can buy a case of these, and all of them have a use because the Seacons and Master Force were drones.
Can't.
Interesting. Okay, that's cool. So, one final official news item. Transformers Combiner Wars poster, Soundwave. The poster is called Laserbeak. I have a mission for you. So, there's an update to this I saw. Does this imply that we're going to get Combiner Wars Soundwave or what?
I think the implication for that came with the inventory listings we talked about last month, where there was Buzzsaw and Stripes, which would be an Autobot Ravage recolor. I think the implications there for that. I think in this context, it's being used just as the publicity mechanism, because the whole point of these posters is watch the Transformers Facebook over the course of the summer for more Combiner Wars news, which probably first up is going to be Ultra Prime, then Victorion, and then after SDCC, they'll have press kit stuff up from that, which will probably have our first 2 waves of 2016, so Combaticons and stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's more to that angle than specifically foreshadowing a leader class Soundwave or something along that line.
Still wants one.
Well, yes, and I don't think it's an unlikely conclusion, but I don't think that's the specific intent of the campaign.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, actually, yeah, that's it for the official news. Hey, guess what?
It's Amazon time.
TFRadio.net/Amazon. Hey,
Is it up?
It's up. It is up.
Okay.
Guess what? Amazon has an amazing uptime. I don't know that I've ever seen Amazon down.
Well, isn't that why 90% of the internet uses Amazon's resources to host themselves?
Yeah, pretty much. We use them.
Yeah.
All our stuff is on Amazon, like S2 and S3.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. So one thing I did do over the weekend, because people had asked for a easy way to bookmark the Amazon link, I did set something up, and I'll show it off here real quick for people watching live.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that when I was posting Fanboy versus Transformers earlier.
Yeah. So, well, okay.
Okay, now while you're working on that, I have a question for you about this.
Yeah.
Now, let's say that there's a specific item page I'm looking at, but I didn't go there through the Amazon link. I want to send it to someone else with the Amazon link effect on it.
That's a great question.
How would I go about doing that?
So with that, it's going to take a little bit of effort. I'll be completely honest. But what you can do, go to our website, and we have a little search widget on the side of the page. Does this show it? Yeah, right here. Little search widget. Oh. It's running slow. Oh, well. So there's a little search widget on the side of the page. You go and you search
so it's down, is what you're saying.
No.
Is this Brian Kilby or Brian Savage?
That's
what
awesome.
happened?
Oh,
that's a good
They're
one.
the same
Yeah.
people, aren't they?
I love you, Brian.
Yeah.
Which one, John?
I love you, Brian.
I know. Isn't it great? So there's a little search widget on the side of the page that you go to, and you can just basically search for whatever it is. Say you want to search for, I don't know. What would you want to search for? Don, what was the last thing he bought on Amazon?
Well, I
He got
pre-ordered.
that circumcision kit, didn't he?
No, I pre-ordered Tuxedo Mask.
Oh, nice. So
No witty response to that.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to search for tuxedo mask.
Search for Quest protein bars. Forget the skinny.
What about Hemo Rage?
Oh, Hemo Rage is good.
That's in his like order history. You don't have to search for that.
Probably. So
Yeah, but you have to add it to the
Now
RC link.
you're gonna bring some Hemo Rage to BotCon and like take it live while we're there, right?
that's a, yeah.
Check, please.
Check, please. So I'll actually add this to the thing later. I actually am having side issues. I think I'm running too many things at once. Yeah, but basically there's a search box on the side. Basically what you do is you type in your search, hit search. It pulls up the items that you want or the items that are returned. You can just right-click the link of whatever it is and hit copy shortcut or copy link, and you can send that off to somebody.
Now, I suppose there's not like a form you can make where I can paste an Amazon link into that and they'll spit out one that's been processed with that.
That widget, yeah, pretty much. You just
No,
have to do the search in the widget.
Yeah, that's exactly right, yeah. So darn it.
My way sounds easier. I mean,
It does sound easier, I know.
Brian taught me how to do it, so it's not that hard.
but I'm lazy. That's the problem.
Yeah. I wish we hadn't tried to do this like during the show because obviously it's not going to work when I want it to.
Yeah.
Sad trombone. But yeah, so go to tfradio.net/Amazon, buy whatever. People watching the live video are like, what the hell? Audio? It's going to be Smilky Soothe. Silky.
Yeah, now you're doing it.
It's gonna be smooth as a baby's bottom.
Yeah.
Smoky smooth.
Smoky Smooth.
That's Smoky Smooth is Don's porno name.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Not sleeping tonight.
That should be the opening line intro.
Yeah, I think it should.
Anyway, third-party news this week.
Wait a second, Don. I'm
That's
having.
that's Brian's
You
job.
don't escape that easily, Don. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
We're getting Masterpiece Classics Tankor.
It's XSplit. The problem, unfortunately.
It's always XSplit that's the problem, unless it's Skype or your blade of grass
Yeah.
or that chicken running around outside attacking Don.
We're down. It's XSplit.
No, well, the chicken is dead. Someone killed the chicken.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's really disorienting. It's really disorienting to look at this on here because, like, my view is mirrored.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I do this, I want to turn it around because it looks wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I should make more. I should make
This
more
is a
signs.
really long truck.
It's a fire truck.
It's a specific kind of fire truck too, which a characteristic is that it's low, flat, and kind of long.
Okay, so I'm gonna do
Maybe
this.
not that long, but you have to bear in mind too. This has to be onslaught later in life.
Yeah, that's
Sound.
which is also a truck.
Yes.
Yes,
To a
but a
point.
truck full of guns.
Well, it's a truck with 2 guns. I mean, I wouldn't call that full of guns.
Well, he'll have whatever his personal guns are too, assuming they don't, just use those as those. But
Well, I mean, they're kind of close enough, aren't they, for what Onslaught's rifle looked like? I mean, it's not a precise match, but nothing really has been in weapons.
Yeah, XSplit
No.
sucks. Don, your video went away.
Oh, okay. Tell you what, I'll just leave it off. Maybe that'll help the bandwidth.
This is one major edit point.
one
actually have to edit this one.
singular sensation.
Oh God, Don.
Okay, let's do this. Okay.
Don's going to do that all birthday party long to try to get us to give up on the idea.
Yeah. Probably.
now you have your strategy, Don. Go with it.
The thing is, like, what he's not anticipating is, I don't care.
Well,
I will undertake any suffering because I know Don will be suffering more.
Boy,
that's
I
the
got
strength
such
that-
good.
That's the strength that will keep me going.
That's awesome.
Wonder if I can work that weekend and get some overtime.
That's awesome. Okay. I'm tempted something.
Well,
to do.
when they don't process your credit card and they don't let you in the door, that'll work
Yeah.
well.
Funny enough, this works perfect in IE, but Chrome just, which is what I have XSplit tied to. Damn it. Okay.
Typical.
Yeah, we'll just start from the beginning. Not that
Yeah.
from the beginning, but the news. Okay.
Just do a screen
Start
capture.
start from the beginning of the news.
Yeah, we'll do the news. Yes. This week on Radio Free Cybertron, lots of news. Okay, we'll do this. Okay.
And we're down again.
Oh my God, we're down. Okay, here we go. So, moving along to third-party items. Machine Boy Toys. What the hell?
Yeah, I know, right?
Reveal another not Astrotrain.
Well, this one's different though, because like the two that came before were, alleged. No. Seriously, go with me on this. The two before were like masterpiece size, allegedly. This one is smaller. It be more of a classic thing. But yes, it's another.
We have a classic
another-
Astrotrain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And it's
Yeah,
probably,
see,
it's
that's
probably
just third party in a nutshell. This one is different from the two they did before.
yeah.
Well, but I can see the aesthetic that they're shooting for because, Chigura is an awesome looking figure, but it is fairly complicated. Devil Star is if you like the classic white and black version of Astrotrain, but a lot of people want a simpler movie version in the animation colors. So this is kind of taking a smaller, probably less complicated figure, but colored in the movie accurate or movie style colors. So it's actually taking a lot from both previous models, and this may do well if the build quality is there, because that hits a lot of people's aesthetics.
Yes,
And
build
yeah,
quality is important.
If this is more simple engineering, this will have some appeal too, just because the two options that exist right now are not.
Chigura's not too bad.
I kind of want Chigura is on my list to look at TFCon or BotCon or whatever the case may be. But
I recommend him. I do.
Well, I'll get a loan from you later for him. But I like the way the Devil Star looks. But I have a perfectly good white and black Astrotrain in the commemorative reissue version.
Or classics itself. And like for my money, Chigger is probably what I would go for a classics Astrotrain because it's so reimagined and like it's a much taller robot than everybody else, but the other two modes, the size works better in relation from everything I've seen. Like, I get this is designed for like robot scale, but even in that case, they kind of undershot it a little bit. They needed to make it more like a Voyager size to match Blitzwing.
Yeah. I want to move to the next item because it also confuses me. MMC R18 Culture. New revised renders of third-party rendition of DJD leader Tarn. So the one that Diecast has, does John have it too?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's not Tarn, that's Voss.
Okay, I feel better. Okay, that makes more sense.
Like, you can see this doesn't turn into a sniper rifle.
Yeah, I know. That's what that was the thing. I thought that the one on the left in the photo.
Okay, so see, the Decepticon Justice Division, there's like 5 or 6 of them.
I know.
They're not all a sniper rifle, dude.
I know. That's what. But the thing is, I was confused because I thought they were both MMC, and
They are.
in both the same character, and they did 2 different versions of it.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's like several DJD characters.
I know
and
that.
This is
Yeah,
another
this
one
one
of them.
has not actually, to my knowledge, been produced yet. This is a second
No.
render of the guy getting closer towards what people
because the
have
first render,
asked
the
to do.
first render looks so different than the second render. It was the
Yes,
confusing-
they've revised this based on, among other things, fandom reaction to the original render.
I like the second one way better.
Yeah.
It's more consistent with the existing media, but it shows less of like the designer's own interpretation, which sometimes is kind of a loss.
Yeah.
Okay, less confused. I'm not interested, so I'm going to skip that.
And Tarn.
I would like to have a Tarn. I would like to have an official Tarn.
Yeah,
probably,
right.
Probably won't happen. Yeah.
Oh, who
But,
knows?
like-
Maybe next year we'll get a DJD combiner or something insane.
I mean, it's hard to discern like individual scale from just an isolated render like this, but looking at it, it doesn't look big enough.
He's supposed to be, I think they said,
Sort of.
8 inches tall or Voyager size. So
I mean, I'll wait and see how that bears out in like a prototype, but just there's something about it that overall just looks too small for the character.
Sort of gives you that classic Galvatron feeling.
I want to
Not exactly.
he's not that small.
But going back to what I was going to say, and I know this isn't plausible, but I want an official Tarn with a voice chip.
Okay.
So.
And a removable bra. Why not?
Okay, just a voice chip.
Well, if
It would just
they
be
get,
Grandpa Simpson. Tell a story about the bees
My
on
God.
his buckle.
or they could get Chris McFeely to do the voice. I'm sure that would be awesome.
I love McFeely, but I want Grandpa Simpson.
So they've kind of said that they're going to do the whole team roughly in at least scale consistent with themselves, like within the team itself. So Voss is basically kind of a
Man, Helix is gonna
stringy
be
deluxe.
huge.
Well,
Yes.
Here's the question I had
Yes,
to
they'll
ask.
be like leader size at least.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people like me that don't read IDW is going to be asking this session. Who's the Voss? Really?
Oh God. Okay, so moving to the next item.
Sure.
This one popped up today, and I first thought it was the Combiner Wars Deluxe Jazz, and it turns out it's a not Masterpiece style.
I
Jazz.
thought it was an actual original. I thought I had missed an announcement this morning at work of Masterpiece Jazz.
It doesn't look like a masterpiece to me. It looks
well,
off.
just first glance.
I mean, I don't think it looks bad, but it looks off. It doesn't look like a masterpiece figure. It looks more like a deluxe figure.
The company is called Transform and Roll Out, and it's their first figure. The thing that's confusing to me is Jazz has got to be on the short list of masterpieces
He
that we're
is
going
the
to get
short list
soon.
of masterpieces.
So why?
To beat Takara to the market and make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, he just looking at him in isolation, it looks like he might look good with Invisible, but I'm not sure how he will look with other.
Maybe.
Because there's some design things there that I see would work well with Invisible, but I don't know if those two would work well on a masterpiece shelf.
When I first saw this, I saw the vehicle mode, and I'm like, which Stunticon is that based off of? Because I mean,
They didn't really get the whole Porsche thing quite right, did they?
no, it's off. But I don't dislike it. I love the robot mode.
The thing is, like, the way, like, it's off in such a way that I wonder if they did not intentionally do that because they're aware of, if we make this thing look like a real Porsche, like, it's not just a toy company that we got to worry about. Somebody who actually cares about protecting their IP is going to come after us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
is it?
I seem to recall somebody had trouble with Porsche before, but I can't remember.
Everybody has had trouble with Porsche, Rob. Like,
Fair enough.
that's kind of what they do.
But in this picture, are the front tires floating off of the ground?
Well,
It's Surrender, right?
the whole thing's floating because these are 3D models.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
They're really nice 3D models, admittedly. Like, when you don't notice that it's floating off of the surface a little bit, it's really easy to mistake this for like a painted prototype.
Yeah. And it says Master on the back instead of Meister, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Meister does just mean master,
Yeah.
right? No, but like with a legit Masterpiece Jazz being very likely within the next year, this is this group's first known figure. The price is relatively low from what I've seen. I think the first listed price in this is like $90.
Wow, that's
really that's point in its favor a little bit because equivalent figures would be more than this usually. But still, I think just all the factors here, I would not be one to like take the risk on this.
Yeah, so going back to what Diecast said about it saying master. So, it's Meister means master, but also this is masterpiece. So it's kind of a nice little wordplay.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of a nice little wordplay. It's a wordplay, and that's not grind rod, so I will live with it.
So in the Skype chat just now, Don said Meister Force, and to that I have just this response.
No, Don. No. That's great.
Look at all the time this saves me.
Yeah.
All I have to do is write it down once, and it's just here forever.
By the end of the year, Brian, Chris will not be speaking at all. He'll be like Wally Cody, just holding up signs the entire broadcast.
I would pay to see that.
You better
actually.
color code them so you can keep them straight.
Yeah.
Or like number them in the corner.
Yeah.
That possibly too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It feel like an episode of Hee Haw. Could go either way.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump to.
I hate that I am old enough to remember Hee-Haw being a thing.
Yep. Okay, so Rob, what's on TFormers this week?
Oh, first off, a bunch of reviews. XV's
man.
got. XV's got.
Y'all been busy little beavers.
Oh yeah. XV's got Ultra Magnus and Cyclonus in both text and photo and video, and of course he reviewed More Than Meets the Eye number 41 this week. I have got 3 out of 4 deluxe protected bots in video form. Streetwise will be up tomorrow morning, and text and photo versions will follow as soon as I can do them. So yeah, busy.
And I'm hoping to have Hotspot up by the weekend too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
Hmm?
We're down.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. Hey, Brian.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Let's see. Beyond that, we've got some photos of Transformers Adventure versions of the Insecticons in Lockdown, and some concept art for Robots in Disguise Grimlock showing his battle mask, which looks very familiar.
Oh, BotCon's back up. BotCon registration is officially back up again
Oh,
Is it?
exciting.
for at
Awesome.
least a couple minutes.
Well, that's a good segue into the next part of this. So
Well, there's one thing I wanted to say. If anyone is I am personally not that interested at the moment in Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. It's not something I'm going to rush out and buy when I see it. But I did watch both diecasts and Chris's reviews of it. If you're thinking about getting this figure, watch both reviews. And I'm saying this because each one of them go about showing off the figure in a completely different way, but it's very informative from both standpoints. So watch both videos because you'll get a lot of different information from each of them. So
Segway destroyed.
Cool.
And I actually watched Diecast review as well when I was in the process of producing mine, and he hit a lot of the same points talking about Ultra Magnus that I ended up reaching when I was writing my script beforehand.
Yeah, I watched both on the TV, and Kim was like, "What in the hell are you doing?"
Well, when I put my reviews together, I actually do a proof watch on my 32-inch TV, which is set up as my second monitor, so that's usually pretty cool.
I'm sorry, Kim.
So it's okay, Don. I love you. I was picking. That's what I do. Okay. Sorry, this is stuff from the Skype chat. Okay, so
Oh, I'm just sorry this isn't being recorded.
I know.
It's just informing so much about John DeLuna right now.
I know, it's great.
Perhaps.
I'll just say that it started off with John saying, "Brian, your passive aggression is the best," and it just kept on going. Okay.
And it ended with the phrase "passive hate."
Yes, love equals passive hate. But there's no hate. There's no hate in my heart.
I'm in the mood.
Oh no. Yeah, of course.
Simply because you're near me.
Okay, so going back to I literally almost ended the show because I forgot about all this because I don't know how. BotCon.
Because it's up at the top of the list, and we didn't move it down. We decided we were going to talk about it later.
Yeah, because the show started like
A million years ago.
an hour.
It's like when you take a
and a
shopping
day
list
ago.
and you have to skip the first 3 things on it because you're at the wrong store. You're going to forget about it by the time you finish with the rest of the list because it's at the top.
Yeah. Okay. So BotCon. So during RFC Extra, I basically I did all the speaking. So does anybody want to comment on this before I throw in my 7 cents?
Like most of my short form comments on this are what I wrote in the document.
So do you mean to read it? Can I read it, or do you want to read it?
You are perfectly free to read it. You will do so with less speaking errors.
BotCon fails in almost every way known to humankind. That was the headline that Chris added. Tuesday was an absurdist comedy of errors in pre-registration, activating, and deactivating in a widening circle of outside blame before finally giving up for the day because it was 5 p.m. and it was time to go home from work. Wednesday morning, registration was reactivated for roughly 20 minutes before being shut down again. Subsequently, pre-registration was launched in stages, beginning with attendee registrations, only which worked better, though not perfectly. Just ask Don. Oh,
So,
and
Don, what was your experience with this today?
Well, to quote Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters, "Mother Puss Bucket."
Don, okay, Don. You had to call customer service for them to validate that your transaction went through, right?
Well, when I got home from work, I saw it was up, and I went through I will say this: the new process, smooth, quick, even on my crappy connection, very easy to understand. I love this new layout. The downside is when I did get to the final thing where it says process, I hit process and it took me back to the start screen. When I looked up to see if I had either an email confirmation or some kind of confirmation in that page, I had an order ID number, but it looked like it had not been processed through their credit card processor. I called FunPub, got a very nice lady, and they're going to manually put she shows on her end everything has been done. It's just it has to be pushed on through when they're there to manually push it through the cell. So I'm just waiting for an email confirmation that it's gone through and I'm done.
So I just want to point this out. I don't know that anyone's actually specifically said this. People have been chomping at the bit to give their credit card numbers to a company that ended up losing said credit card numbers to like hackers like just 4 years ago.
Now, I will counter this. I have seen several people specifically say that they've been using the waiting period for registration to actually come up in the first place to be loading money onto prepaid Visa cards to keep the money isolated. So just in case that happens again, they are safe. People have been lining up to give them numbers, but not necessarily their personal numbers.
That's what I do. I put all my stuff on a prepaid card, and the reason I do it was because Diecast and Chris Triplett both had their credit card numbers stolen because of all this stuff. I mean, there was a perfectly reasonable, logical excuse that was given as to how that happened. I don't remember an apology though, but to the
you sure won't.
Yeah.
You don't understand how hard it was for them.
So I have been very forgiving of FunPub, like to the point to where some people accuse me of being like a FunPub apologist. And I've tried, working in a small business, running a small business, everything. Like, I understand that there's a lot of effort that takes, that goes into making things work. And it looks like that effort hasn't been going into it because stuff hasn't worked.
Here's a question, though, Brian. If you ran a small business like this without the backing of a multinational corporation, how long would you be in business?
It's not, I'm not going to say it's the backing. Hasbro is probably breathing down their necks. But I'm not saying I don't know how much Hasbro is backing them on it. But the thing is, with if Hasbro is breathing down their necks, that should be extra incentive to, make this crap work.
Okay, so, backing may not be the right way to express this, but if you were running a small business and you did not have guaranteed, contracted employment from a multinational corporation, where that no matter how you screw up, what you do at the end of the day, tomorrow you're still going to come and you're still going to work for these people.
I don't know that
how
that's
long
even
would
the
you
case.
stay in business?
I don't even see that being the case. I see it being worse than that. I don't see it. I don't think that they are just getting all these licensing dollars and look at us, everything is great. I think they have to sell. They have to sell subscriptions. They have to sell toys and all of the stuff. Money has to transact for them to actually get paid, and that's the scary part. Because if I didn't have to work and people just gave me money because I'm the only official, whatever in town, I might not, I might rest on my laurels too. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to say this, being the longtime BotCon goer, I just wish all of this had been done months ago.
Yes.
And the reason I'm saying that is there's no sense in the license being 10 years old, and we're still running into these problems when other conventions, other things do this on a yearly basis, and it's not a complete restructure apparently from the ground up. Now, I know there's tons of stuff going on with them. I know they've got stuff going on with Hasbro, with Takara. No matter how much we know, we'll never know all the crap that they do go through. But there are some things by the 10-year point that I just honestly feel should not be a problem year after year.
You know how hard it is to set up a ride from the airport? I mean, that's got to be pretty difficult for them. We have registration up, and people are flying into the airport and have no idea
3
how
weeks from today.
3
Yeah.
weeks from today,
Yeah.
have no idea how they're going to get to the convention.
yeah.
I've actually tweeted
Yeah.
at BotCon, and they've
No
just
response, no
ignored
response.
it.
Yeah.
What Don's saying is that after doing this for 10 years for Transformers and however many years for G.I. Joe, they should have repeatable processes that they can execute to make this stuff happen. And it seems like they reinvent the wheel each and every year.
Yeah.
For God's sake, a pre-registration form is a frickin' web form. You already have to have one of those up for people to like join the fan club. What's the difference?
I mean,
They already have
and
the
that's-
technology in place.
Except every year they throw it away and try to get new technology for reasons I can't understand.
I don't understand it.
Well,
Like,
that's one
and-
thing they actually replied to. They've only ever redone the system one time.
then why
what
does
they
it look
said.
seem like it every year? So, like in 2009, me and one other dude put together basically a ticketing system for a concert that had about an attendance of 5,000 to 8,000 people over the course of 3 days. Never having done it before, we did it in a day, and that was 2009, and it worked.
Now, I don't want to sound like I'm belittling the people, like the lady I spoke to today at the Fun Pub.
She's
She
a very
was-
nice volunteer from Savage's Church.
Yeah, or she's one of the regular staff. I
She's
know.
probably
I'm
one of the
not,
regular staffers.
I'm not mentioning her name because I don't want people to be quoting like, well, I talked to so and so. I'm just saying.
That's
I believe she's one of the regular staffers because I have spoke with her before at BotCon.
They are
but-
very nice. I will agree
Yes.
with you.
And I'm sure they were swamped. It's just,
Yes.
and I go every year because this, up until TFCon became available in the U.S., this was my one trip a year because I wasn't going to do San Diego. And living in the South, our regional conventions really aren't.
Well, there's always Dragon Con, Don.
Yeah, well, that's not exactly my cup of tea, but again, it's something I could look into. But I just honestly feel that if these smaller, again, I know there's logistics involved, but if a smaller convention like TFCon can be set up 20 weeks out from their event date, and I can register and pay in 4 minutes and be done other than going there, I can't understand why there's such a disparity.
The only thing I'll say, and then I'll retreat back to what I was saying before. The logistics for setting up BotCon or Shardicon or any of these other things, BotCon is way bigger and way more complex. But with that being said, they've been doing it for 10 years. It should be a matter of kicking off the same process they did last year, the year before that, and making it work. And it doesn't. That's unacceptable.
Yeah,
You can't
okay,
compare.
look.
You can't compare it to SharkCon or TFCon. It's apples and oranges. But you should be able to compare BotCon to BotCon, and they don't compare favorably to each other.
No. And I looked it up. I'm trying to nail down an exact date, but FunPub took over the G.I. Joe Con sometime in the mid-90s, so odds are they have actually been doing this for closer to 20 years. On, a similar scale. 20 years, this is what we get. And, for one thing, server load would probably not be a problem if you did not wait until 3 weeks out, and people who have no idea how they're going to get to the airport, or even if there's still room at the hotel or anything, we're all trying to desperately register at once when they told you it was up.
So
Like my favorite thing today, watching this happen, was someone in Japan tweeted in English cursing the registration.
Yes, wasn't it the person who did the alternate cover for this
Well,
month's
yeah, I
Work
didn't
with
want to
CI?
go into specifics.
so- okay.
But,
so I
Apologies.
saw where there was a server error, and that the 180 simultaneous connections were flooded. Guess what? That's 180 connections simultaneously for a server to accept orders. That's a pretty large. That's a very reasonable. That's a very reasonable amount of bandwidth, from my experience, and it should be fine, except for the fact that BotCon is 3 weeks away. If this was a month ago, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, we wouldn't be seeing the problems of the servers being overloaded. But for whatever reason, things have delayed until 3 weeks out. And
like I would say, for the first 2 or 3 hours, yeah, we would be having these server problems while people trying to get in on all the early stuff like the customizing class were fighting it out for the sub 200 numbers. But it would level out really quickly, and everything would run smooth thereafter.
You know what? You can get a copy of Microsoft Project for about $400. You can build a project plan in Excel for whatever Excel costs. Google Docs are free. So all you really have to do is write out what you're going to do and put in the timeline it's going to take and keep somebody accountable to it. And voila, you have a convention.
Yeah, accountability is kind of the thing here, though, isn't it?
What's that?
Yeah.
Accountability. That accountability is the thing that you put on everybody else but you.
Okay,
Yes.
I got it.
As usual, once again, just like 2012. And one thing we have not mentioned yet that is in the notes, for the wonders of this system, for the privilege of being able to maybe register to go to BotCon, you're getting charged a $7 processing.
What's up with that?
Yeah,
Why did that happen?
Yeah, it's.
They have to pay a company, so
Like, yeah, well, okay, that like 1.5%.
Shoes aren't free.
So yeah, so normally that would be factored into the cost of the product.
I mean, it should be.
Yeah. At this,
Well, I mean, it was only $3 last year, I believe.
It shouldn't even show up.
I know, but I'm just saying. I mean,
That's like calling somebody collect.
Yeah, I mean,
But to Don's actual point, why did it go up $4 in a year for the processing fee?
Don't know.
I mean, it should be there anyway in the first place. But
Mhm.
why did it even double on
More
top
than-
of that? It's just, I just want to be able, 4 months out, 5 months out, go to BotCon, say, okay, BotCon. You can register for BotCon, but there's no reason we should be. I mean, I know they had JoeCon, and JoeCon was what, April?
Yes, and JoeCon's pre-registration went up 2 weeks before the
Okay.
show started.
All right, so
it had
here's
like
the
a
thing.
quarter of the attendance, though, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
Between January and, say, March, that's 3 months. You could have gotten JoeCon up and running in that 3 months. And then once JoeCon was done, you use that template, since it would be up and running. I would assume you could just change out your packages, change out your events
Maybe to an extent.
to an extent, and then boom.
And I think that is what they wanted to have happen, and the whole reason JoeCon had its bizarre system where it could not filter incompatible choices and could not be edited after it was sent in to correct for that. It's because they've been trying this whole time to get a system running to do everything they want to, and they could not have it ready in all that time. And they almost did not have it running for this.
I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to register for my conventions.
Look, I just want to go to the arcade on Thursday.
I know. But here's the thing. Like, I'm not even. I guess I am by mentioning. I'm not even bringing up the allegations of racism or any crap like that. This is just very public.
This is about the mechanical functioning of the convention.
And I've had enough.
Yeah,
Like I know, I was like, well, it's our partner's fault. Well, you picked them.
Yes,
Well-
and I love that apology because it was the usual Brian Savage non-apology, where everybody else screwed up, but I'm sorry, I take full responsibility, kinda, but it was everybody else's fault.
Well, here's something I tweeted out yesterday, and I still feel this way. I feel a tiny bit ashamed to be a Transformers fan right now when our official licensee working with Hasbro cannot get their convention up and running 3 weeks out.
I don't feel
I
ashamed
don't
to be
feel
a
ashamed,
fan.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's what I said,
We're
tiny.
not fans because of what they
Yeah.
do.
We're
If
not
anything,
fans of
we're
Fun
fans
Pub.
in spite. If anything, we're fans in spite of what Fun Pub does.
If I was a Fun Pubber or something, I might feel like, if I was a fan of Fun Pub and not like the Transformers, I might feel ashamed.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's not false outrage. I'm not getting I'm not getting upset over something that's not real or something that I've just blown up in my head. The actual performance of this company over the last 3-4 years has been poor. At least from a planning perspective. Execution, you go to the convention's usually fine. We haven't had like a Seafood Lewis thing or anything in a while, but the convention itself is usually fine. But more people see the outrage and the disgust people have with trying to register than actually go to the convention.
Yeah,
So-
that's
Yeah.
true.
And
Well-
like you know, most years when they announce the location of BotCon and it's in California or whatever, and it's far outside my reach to travel to, I feel disappointed because there goes my major opportunity to spend time with the people I know online who share my interests. But after this, it's like I don't even care where BotCon is next year. Let it be somewhere far away so I don't even have to think about it.
This will probably be my last BotCon.
I am definitely not ashamed to be a Transformers fan, but I am proud to not support ass clownery. There is a recurring problem, like you said, with planning, with logistics that is not being addressed, will not be addressed until the business fails to the point where it is not making money for FunPub and for Hasbro. And if people keep going, it's going to keep being like this. So
Yeah.
I'm just as happy to not be going.
Now,
Well, there's an easy way to take care of this. Is not even forget about BotCon. Don't sign up for the Transformers Collectors Club.
Yeah.
If you
Or
really
subscription
feel that
services, or
Yeah.
yeah.
well, okay, I want to have to counter that a little bit, Rob, because unfortunately, and you can say I'm part of the problem.
You're part of the
BotCon-
problem, Don.
BotCon has become too important as part of my life. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. I'm just saying it's
But
given me-
that's a
it's-
holdover
it's-
from 3H BotCon.
That's exactly
That's
right.
what became an important part of
Well,
your life. And
well,
Don,
Well,
let me
not
say
inherited
this to
that.
you let me say this to you with all sincerity and respect, because I respect you as a person.
Yes.
You're a great person. These bad businessmen are holding you hostage by your heart.
Yeah,
And you should
Rob,
not let them
right.
do that. You should not let them do that.
And like Don, think about it this way too. The way I quantified what had gone wrong this week was that they made you, what I said was one of the nicest, most polite dudes I know. It drove you to the point of cursing, which you never do. I mean, that is how
Yeah.
bad this got.
I mean, it's just, I don't think I can give up going because I have too much fun. I see all my friends. I do get good toys. I get to see all the stuff first. It's my escape into a reality that I can actually relax and have fun. And it's too important to me. I know there's issues that need to be addressed, and I'm praying. And I mean, I am honestly, sincerely hoping between now and next year, this is the final, and I mean the final year that this goes on, because at this point, anything else is just plain effed up.
Yeah, so hopefully I agree. I hope you're right. I hope that's the case. I have my doubts, but the thing is, I'm speaking for me. But in my 20s and late teens, when, to me, the fandom was all toys, Transformers, and BotCon. BotCon held a huge importance, and I loved going to BotCon. I love seeing my friends. Most of my friends don't go to BotCon anymore. Most of my reasons for going to BotCon have grown up, have kids, and don't go because it's not part of who they are anymore. I have thousands of other ways to interact with online Transformers fans, more than I had 20 years ago. Twitter, Facebook, our Facebook page. There's so many ways for me to interact with people. I don't feel that I have to go like I used to. And I mean, I go and like, I really wanted to weasel out of this year, like, so bad. But if it wasn't for like the arcade, I would totally just weasel out.
Oh man, that arcade.
But like the fandom and the world is much bigger than it was when BotCon meant a damn to anybody. And
it just still means too much to me, Brian. I can't. I still have too much fun seeing my friends.
Don, there's other conventions.
I know.
This isn't the only game.
I know, but I'll be honest. I love TFCon last year. I love seeing all y'all, but
it's not BotCon.
It's not BotCon.
BotCon's not BotCon anymore. Is the problem?
Yeah.
Parts of BotCon is dying a little bit each year because part of it's going to New York Comic Con, part of it's going to San Diego Comic Con, lots of it's going to Toy Fair. You have all of these other outlets that lots of it's going to Facebook. Hasbro's showing so much stuff on Facebook now.
The things that made BotCon special are largely becoming irrelevant at BotCon.
Yeah.
And, at BotCon, like you said, it's facing basically competition on every possible front. The social front, the toy front, the exclusive front, the, Hasbro announcement front. The solution to this is to do better, not to basically, as the fandom becomes bigger, for you to become smaller.
Yeah.
Both as a business and as people.
I don't know. But yeah, this is screwed up. Hopefully it'll get better. And it seems like an armchair quarterbacking, but honestly, at this point, so many fans are professionals who do and work on things so much bigger than BotCon anyway. We kind of are in a position to armchair quarterback. So, sorry, just the way things are.
I mean, I will admit that some of this was at the fault of Authorized.net, but if this would have been done weeks ago, I don't know that that would have been the case.
Yeah, that was kind of, to be honest, that was kind of serendipity for BotCon, that it just happened to time out with an Authorized.net problem, that they could cite that when they did. That's none of the problems that led up to this none of them were caused by that.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it makes me sad. I only went to like one 3H BotCon, but I know the thing was put together with love. I don't feel like that anymore. I don't remember the last time BotCon was put together with any kind of love for. Maybe it's just the fact that at the core it's a Joe-oriented organization and they Transformers.
Too bad G.I. Joe doesn't matter.
Well, maybe with a new brand manager, that could all change. I'm not sure what that would carry over to Transformers, though.
Why, this would be like someone who has no interest in Gundam starting a Gundam message board.
Yeah.
Oh, those were the days.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, we all deserve better.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I'm surprised.
For the people who can't let go, I understand that. For the people who still want to go, I respect that. But just remember, you deserve better. Demand better while you're there. Demand better when you're back from there. Yeah. Accountability is the only thing that can fix that, and that means not forgetting this during the con or when the con is over, no matter how great a time you have.
Mm-hmm. Let's not forget, it's not a cheap convention. I mean, I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
If you just want to go and not get the toys, it's like $195. So with that processing fee, it's over $200. I don't know why you wouldn't get the box set at that point, other than you're really trying to save money and you really want to go to BotCon, because it's only like an extra $200 for the box set, which really isn't that bad, but that's a pretty expensive door ticket price to get in.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, and it's. I'm just going to say this: I don't like talking bad about people because, like I said, we will never know behind closed doors how much crap they are going through. But I'm just saying, we'll never know the whole story. But it should not be more frustrating in 2015 to register for a convention 20 years old when it was easier in the late 90s and early 2000s.
I will say, Don.
I heard what you started to say, Don. How hard was it to register for the year the Men in Black did it?
Oh, I've blocked most of that year. Can you pick another year, please?
Well, I mean that's the point though. Like that was the worst year of that era of BotCon.
Well,
and how hard was that to sign up for?
Oh no, I mean we basically I think we faxed in most everything, faxed or mailed it in because there wasn't any of this back then in the mid '90s. We got our confirmations back. It was more work as far as like going to someplace that had a fax machine or whatever. But I mean, we were over and done within a week as far as sending information and getting information back.
So we've run long. I want to say this though. Don says he doesn't want to speak ill of anyone, and I'm not. But he doesn't know what we've gone through and how hard things are. After 4 or 5 years, I'm not willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, if it was so bad, it's not like freaking Stockholm syndrome. They would have gotten out. So screw it. Yeah. That's it. That's it for Radio Free Cybertron for this week. So
see you next week.
We'll be back.
Good night, everybody.
Everyone, take care. We'll be back with more happy stuff sooner.
Actually, if you're